Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, Jon Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wise Kracks. Jon Orlando here with the man himself, Bill Krackomberger, back in Las Vegas where he belongs. I can't keep up with you. You travel. You must have so many free miles, like air miles.
I do have a lot of miles.
Do you use them?
I will eventually, yeah. I haven't used them in a while, but yeah.
You have hundreds of thousands of miles.
I have a couple 100,000 miles from just one airline I'm thinking about, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. This last trip I flew JetBlue, and they have
TVs.
The front of JetBlue is called Mint. It's literally, you get a bed. It goes out to a bed, which normally is a ridiculous price, but for some reason they were like $4.99 each way on JetBlue. I said I'm going up there in Mint, and it was really cool. It's like
I've never seen that. Is that new? Is that
no,
new thing?
Mint's almost on every JetBlue plane. It's just always really expensive. It's like $1,500 away. Sometimes you can get it for like $9.99, but this was $4.99. So I
like that.
The Mint.
I liked when you put me on Spirit. I'd never flown Spirit, and you put me in the front row. Yeah.
Yeah, the big front seat.
That was great.
Yeah, wasn't that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, big front seat is good, but the Spirit's had a lot of problems with their planes right now. They're just not.
That's not good.
Yeah, they got all this, I guess billions with a B. I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know how much money, but ridiculous amount of money these places got.
Sure.
And I don't think Spirit used theirs wisely, because they had a stoppage, and all the planes from like Atlantic City Airport, Philadelphia Airport, just even Vegas airports, leaving travelers stranded for days. So
that's no good.
I'm a little mad at them right now.
We got lots to talk about today. Obviously, there's preseason football, all kinds of stuff going on in sports. The pennant race is starting to get really exciting. Yep. But I wanted to tell you about my morning.
Okay.
I went over to Red Rock. Is that still a place of?
Yeah.
Where are you at with Red Rock?
It's a station's property. They're scared to death to take a bet from me. But,
right.
But a square like yourself, they love.
Yeah. So they've got betting kiosks.
Ooh, for sports?
Yes, for race and sports.
Oh, wonderful.
So I went over there. So
now it turned into closet gambling for you guys. No one sees what you're doing.
So there's got to be a degenerate between the two of us, and I'm going to play that role.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I woke up and some numbers hit my head.
Okay.
Some numbers were in my head.
Right.
8-4 was in my head.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
And so I went and I was like, I'm going, and whatever the next race is that's going off, I'm betting 8-4 exacta box.
Oh, well, that's as good as anything, though. I mean, if you're going to bet horses, you're going to give them the 20-25% house edge. You might as well pick a number, or your favorite number, colors.
Okay. Yeah. Are you being serious, or you actually you don't hate that? All right.
I don't like horse racing because of the hold that it has compared to sports. A straight bet is 4.5% against you, whereas a win bet, which is the lowest hold actually out of all the different kind of bets you can make in horse racing, is anywhere from 15 to 20%. And then if you bet an exacta like that, you're talking the gimmicks they're 25 and up, 25% against you. So that means every $100 you put in the pool, they take 25 for the house and return 75 to the betting fans, the betting pool.
Okay. Very good. Good to know. So so the track was DP, which is Delaware Park.
Okay.
I've never seen this before, so I bet on the race, and I'm watching the race, and they start going around, and all of a sudden they jump. All the horse. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
There's now jumping in horse racing.
It's called steeplechase. They jump over over. It's either over a fence, but usually it's a grass kind of a fence, right?
Yeah. This is and they're spaced out.
All over the track.
All over the track.
It's a certain kind of race.
I've never seen this in my life.
Yeah, Monmouth Park used to have them when I lived there.
Really?
Yeah, but they had them maybe as the first race or the last race, and it's really hard to handicap.
I think this was the first race.
Yeah, it's really hard to handicap because there's not a lot of history of steeplechase racing, but it's more of a fun thing to
Not that it matters because all I was doing was picking numbers, so it's not like I handicapped the race, but I was just like, what is going on here? I'd never seen that before.
Okay, there's not a big story ending here that you won?
No, I didn't win.
That you brought all this to the table? 8-4 didn't even come out?
Nothing? Yeah, no good?
Well,
I am working on a 5-team baseball parlay for this evening.
Of course you are. Yeah. You know what?
All favorites.
It's funny, John. You're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
So someone sent me some stats. I wasn't even planning to mention this on the show, but now you're saying it.
Yeah.
Since the All-Star break, the big favorites of 2-1 or better have been like ridiculous. I mean, like hitting like 75%, some ridiculous number. So maybe your idea of betting giant favorites.
Just load up in a parlay and hope you catch.
Listen, I'm just saying that's not what I do, but the dogs are that bad. There's some teams that probably have just given up. Yesterday, the Cubs did beat the Reds, thinking of one of the big dogs yesterday.
Yeah.
But teams like Tampa Bay played Baltimore. So Tampa Bay played Baltimore yesterday. Baltimore is one of those teams that probably have given up. There's some teams that have given up. So it's funny because I look right now as I look. We film on Wednesday. And as a big favorite, Cincinnati Reds today was minus around 310, 320 favorite, and they're playing the Cubs. And as I look today, it's 6-1 Cubs. So I'm telling you about the favorites. But yeah, so these teams like San Fran and the Dodgers, they're just rolling. The Mets have looked like they've given up. I think they've lost like 5 in a row. There was a bet.
I did take the Mets. I did take one dog today, and it's the Mets.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they can win today. I'm not saying any given day. I mean, they've lost 5 in a row, but any given day. Now they're playing San Fran today. The line just did drop also.
I just like
some of these teams have given up. That's all. The purpose of me talking about it was it seems like some of these big dogs have just totally given up.
Like I just like the strategy of the Dodgers are going to win high 90s, maybe 100 games. Okay. The Giants now are probably going to do the same right now, right? They might even win that division. I can't believe it.
And they're still like 12-1 to win the World Series somehow,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
The Astros are going to. There's certain teams they're going to win 95 plus games. Right. So I just like to bet parlays with like 3 or 4 of those teams, load up on the parlay, and hope that the first place teams all win on this.
Load up is never in my betting my betting philosophy ever on anything. So, but yeah, you can do that, and thank God there's Jon Orlandos in the world. It enables me to make a living betting sports.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm a team player.
I'm not really making funny. I'm just saying. You think you're out of the normal? People go to the casino and go to the sports book, and they load up all their money they have on baseball for the day. Right. And then they, like I said it recently on a show. They watch the games from only their perspective too. They say, "Oh God, I should have won. If that didn't happen this way, if this didn't happen, I could have won." It brings them back.
I say it all the time. If Kenley Jansen doesn't go in, then we win the game.
It brings them back. It brings them back the next day. It's that allure that
the Giants are in first place because of a guy named Kenley Jansen. It's just that simple.
I never heard of him.
He's the Dodgers closer.
Oh, okay.
We're 4 games out.
Which games I watch?
We're 4 games out, and he's got 4 losses. I mean, do the math.
Okay. Okay.
He's
the Dodgers closer?
He's the Dodgers closer that he should have been.
I should know that.
He should be completely out of baseball. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you don't.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised you don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to take shots at you here.
If anything, I'm betting against the Dodgers, if anything.
That hurts.
Usually.
It hurts to hear
the value can't be betting on the Dodgers. There's automatically an implied tax you pay betting on marquee teams like the Dodgers, maybe even San Fran. Definitely the Yankees. You're paying more than you should pay.
But if you were playing a stock market and you could make 20% on your money, you're happy.
Oh yeah, where are you making 20% on your money?
Well, if the Dodgers are an underdog, you're
One of the Dodgers underdog.
I mean, if they're a favorite. Sorry, if the Dodgers are a favorite, right?
But you're laying 2-1 on the games. 2.5 to 1. Sometimes.
Not all. Yeah, some games, but sometimes they're minus 170.
Yeah, and they're even less than that sometimes. But like a team like Pittsburgh, which they're playing now, it's undecided who's pitching today. But they're always going to be a big dog, a big favorite against that kind of a team. And yesterday, if you bet the Dodgers, perfect example. So people say automatically, they say, these teams are so bad. I got to bet, but I don't want to lay 3-1. I'm laying the run line. I want to lay a run and a half minus $1.30 or $1.50.
I did it with the Yankees 2 nights ago and lost 2-1.
Well, even last night with the Dodgers. So they're winning the whole game, 9th inning. They lost. They won the game, but they lost on the run line.
Right.
Very hard to bet a home team run line too.
Right.
So you're only going to get probably 8 at bats. Right. With one of these big favorites, you're supposed to.
Yep.
Whereas the road team, you're getting 9 at bats. So it's a little bit harder sometimes. Just tricky. Yeah. You have to get Tampa Bay won yesterday. I think 10-0. So they were home against the Baltimore, one of those bad teams. So.
And that man on second in the extra innings can come back to haunt you.
Definitely. Oh yeah. This time you're rooting for the team you're betting against
to tie it up. So you have a shot at a 2-run homer.
2-run homer.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Been there. That's my betting baseball this year.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Preseason. Oh, well, let's talk about Vegas. Vegas is definitely back, right? I mean,
Vegas is packed. It's August,
packed.
100 degrees. It's actually humid. 110 degrees. Actually, a little bit humid we've had here. I've only been back for about a week or so, but it's just so hot and humid, but yet people are here in droves still.
Yeah.
It's packed. Casinos are packed. Sports books are packed. I was down at the Circa this weekend. It's just packed.
San Diego's nice this time of year, like the Del Mar area.
I'm still working on this.
Okay, all right.
I wanted to be there tomorrow. Tomorrow night was my plan to leave, but things always come up.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, so I'm probably going to...
maybe I could get like
reschedule that
29 hours notice.
I'm terrible too spontaneous.
29 hours? Is it too much to ask for?
For what John's talking about, John was going to come with me to San Diego, and the other day he said to me, Bill, I know you're last minute, but I have to know ahead of time when we're coming. I said, okay, I'll let you know. And then I said, don't listen, I just don't know yet. I'm sorry. So I'll have 48 hours at least for you.
The 48. All right, that'd be great.
At least.
No, that's good. We've got cats we got to take care of.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
Cool.
First week of preseason football. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, one of the wise guys that I know, a sharp guy, he called me up and he said a week before the games, he said, this year the totals are about 5 points less than they have ever been in football. He said, I really think that you could blindly bet the overs on every one of these games. So immediately it's like, wow, I don't ever bet blindly on anything. It's just not what I do. I'm not part of that. So they went 14-3. The other way.
Other way.
Yeah, I think it was 14-3.
Yep.
I think that was the
record.
Yep,
it is.
Yeah, so they were he was definitely wrong, and you want to know the truth? A lot of those the three. Well, I know one for a fact. They actually should have been 15-2. That's how bad that call was. So the line makers know something. You think they're going to line 5 points lower on all these games across the board just because they just feel that it's going to be less scoring? No. They realize there's only 3 games in preseason instead of 4 games. The rules have changed. There's ties now. There's no overtime period. There's no, they're not playing overtime. There's much more things too.
Yep.
Players not playing. Starters are not starting at all. Usually, when you have a 4-game preseason schedule, you'll start a starter for maybe a series. There's been instances you're playing them for 2 quarters. So once it gets down to game 3 or whatever, this is a total different year. The starters are not playing. Matter of fact, none of the quarterbacks. I think Brady may have seen a series. He's a Superman though, so you can't go by him. It's a total different year, and look what happened with all these unders. You can actually see this week. Everyone was talking about this. Now the last TV game was the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. They had a single game that day. All the games were played before that, the other 16 games. And Sunday's game went over. So there's a slight chance that it was a prime, TV game, so everyone's watching. So maybe that helped induce these totals to stay about the same. I thought that the numbers were going to be much lower. I thought they were going to be much lower for this coming weekend, and I find them not to be lower. I'm looking starting with this Thursday game, that Philadelphia, New England, 39, 38.5, 39. That we can go right into the Friday's games, 41. I don't know if there was a game 41 last weekend. Now there is a 33 there. Cincinnati and Washington was hit 37. It got really hit to the under. But most of the games you go into Saturday's games, they're all lined right about the same. They're 37.5, 37 probably the average total, which it was last week. So I'm interested to know what happens in week 2. I will tell you this. Don't go by week 1. Now, what I mean by that is do not go by week 1's results and say, wow, this team was so much better than this team. I'll use the Denver Broncos, for example. Denver blew out their competition. And by the way, it's one of the crack wins plays was Denver, plus 1.5. Actually, they actually closed around a 3-point favorite, 3.5-point favorite. But yeah, so don't just go by that because that means nothing, actually, what they did from week to week. It could be a total different look this week of the entire team. And this goes for really almost every team. There isn't very many coaches that say, I want to win today. We're going to get out there. We're going to prove it. Preseason means nothing. A lot of these guys aren't even, like we said, aren't even playing. As a matter of fact, John, you can actually see where we wrote down before the show. I wanted to get down his Sean McVay. You want to read that? Read actually what Sean McVay said.
Sean McVay said, there is zero chance you will ever see Matthew Stafford take a snap in a preseason game as long as I am the coach. That will never happen. Until you tell me that if a guy gets hurt in the preseason that we get those games back that he misses at the end, it's hard for me to make any sense of it. I totally agree.
The risk of injury is too big. These contracts are too big now, too. We're talking the NFL contracts have literally, the average has doubled in 5 years of what these guys are being paid. So
why do they even play preseason games?
It's the old Cyndi Lauper thing, like I always say. Money changes everything. It is. I mean, it's just money.
Yeah, I always forget that's the answer to many questions.
It is the answer. A lot of the coaches wouldn't even want it. They'd rather have scrimmages between offense and defense.
Right.
They really wouldn't want to be on the big field.
The money.
Yeah. There's, they charge for those preseason. If you're a season ticket holder, you have to buy preseason tickets also. So they stick them down your throat. And anyway, yeah.
Do players work it into their contracts that they could play limited preseason action? Do you know?
I don't know. I would say no.
No?
I would say no, but usually the coaching staff, training staff.
Right, because you don't want those guys to get hurt.
Yeah. The preseason games here, which opening game was the Raiders were here, sold out.
Yeah,
absolutely
saw on
packed.
TV. It was crazy.
Packed. Fights in the stands.
A lot of fights. Yeah.
Yeah, Raider Nation.
Yeah, Raider Nation.
I look for that out of like Philly. Where they have a jail there and they throw snowballs at Santa Claus. I don't really look for that here in town. But then again, this is the Raiders of Oakland.
Yeah.
This is our first year we're having fans.
Yeah.
So I can imagine what's going to happen during the regular season. It's going to be maybe different fans because the tickets are going to be a little bit priced much more. But those people are still coming here.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the sports books.
Yep.
They're going to be in the casinos.
They'll be in the parking lots.
They'll be in the parking lot.
Tailgating.
They're going to be all around.
Looking for opposing jerseys.
Different rules for tailgating this year. I was reading something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think I read something about that.
Yeah, they're going to try to crack down on it.
They're going to crack down on it. But they may be in the, who knows, the casinos parking lots. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be some, they're going to be in town. They're going to be in the casinos.
The mentality of these people that fight, I mean, over any pro sports game is stupid. But if you're fighting over preseason football, like, come on. It's just crazy. They come for that specifically.
I'll never understand the 40-year-old guys screaming and yelling and together as buddies, dressing up with everything, the fan
painting your face,
and I'll go back to resort to the Bronx Tale again. Sorry, why do you care about them? They don't care about you.
Yeah.
See if you get see if Derek Carr will pay your rent if you can't pay it.
Not going to happen.
Why do you care about him? He don't care about you. Unless you're betting on it, of course your allegiance is the game. But when the game's over, I couldn't care about him.
There was a case 2 years ago. Nate Diaz, UFC fighter, loses a fight.
Right.
One of his fans sends him a message on Instagram, and he's like, "Hey, bro, I bet my rent money on you.
Yeah.
Can you help me out?" And Nate wrote back, "I got your bitch ass. Don't worry." And he sent him the money.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Well, hey, UFC, they're leading by Dana White's example. He throws money around.
Yeah. Pretty funny though.
Cool.
Yeah. So college football. All right, I'm going to get into college football this year. I hate college football, but I'm coming in.
You're going in?
I'm going in this year.
Well, it's bettable and beatable.
Okay.
Compared to NFL. NFL's the toughest thing to beat. I always talk about NFL sides. Toughest thing to beat. It's harder to beat, and there's so much information out there. All the bookmakers, out there, they're watching the same stuff we're watching, which is the ESPNs of the world, and every major newspaper and every media source, internet sites, they're all following, and the NFL is the most talked about thing out there. Therefore, they can get the lines pretty good. The lines are very hard to beat. NFL sides followed by NBA sides are the two toughest things to beat. However, totals are beatable. Props are beatable. And listen, I used to be real strong on saying no one could beat NFL. I know that there are some syndicate groups out there that do beat the NFL. There's a guy in town here who I do respect. He came in second and fifth. He had 2 entries last year. Out of the thousands of entries in the Circa contest, he actually did come in second and fifth, and he's done that previous years. And you just can't say it's a luck factor. He definitely beats NFL and knows what he's doing a little bit. But we're going to have Jay Kornegay on, the director of the Westgate, and he's going to come on and talk to us about a couple things. And we look forward to having him on. Come on.
Yeah. I love it. All I know about college football right now is I'm picking Clemson. I'm going to ride the Clemson wave
again, but
Clemson
a team like
Tigers.
Clemson, it's a public team. You're gonna pay you're gonna pay a tax on betting a team. Public teams. Now they're not as big public team as other. There are other ones that are bigger, but they're one of the big public teams. They've been playing for championships and stuff. The Alabamas and even the teams that haven't done well lately, but have been public teams like Notre Dame and stuff. You may pay a little bit of a tax on these big names, these big teams.
I only pick Clemson because behind me I've got the Pedro Guerrero glove, and behind that is Chris Benson's glove. Former number 1 pick of the draft, played for Clemson. And you like how I come to that?
I do.
Yeah?
That's cool.
Not really?
No, it's good.
With NFL season getting ready to start up, college football, baseball, preseason coming, I am here to tell all of you watching and listening, if you don't download the Crack Wins app, you're blowing it. I mean, it's just that simple, people. The guy's murdering it. Get on this party train.
Big time of the year.
It's a party.
Big time of the year. It really is. This is when you pounce. I mean, college football coming up, of course, we all know that. However, preseason football, love that. It's good stuff. Good stuff going on.
Because you're the information king. That's why you love it.
Listen, we gave out like 8 games last week. Every one of them got closing line value, which that means is like you're taking 1.5 on a game. It closes -3. We had games that moved 4.5, 5 points. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well. Once the info's out there, and it is. It's reading socials. It's having a good team behind me. We really.
I don't know if people really understand. Like that is the equivalent to getting basically insider trading.
Yeah,
kind of, sort of.
Sure.
It's like saying, "Hey, there's a big deal going down. Buy McDonald's stock tomorrow, or today."
Well, but there's those guys out there too, though. But they're kind of full of it,
right?
Yeah, no.
But you get good info.
Yeah, good info. This is the real deal. Good preseason football. Of course, some late season baseball, but the preseason football we're really looking forward to. Jump on now.
Yeah, and then as always, I'm sure you started your morning ritual with do you drink coffee in the morning?
I do.
Coffee and WSN.com for some articles?
There's some, not only that, how about this week, there's the contest is up there, National Football League 2021-2022 season.
Yep.
$600 a week in their NFL football contest. And I'll tell you, this is a good time to jump on board that because a lot of people don't know about it. So now they're going to start knowing about it. This is a real good contest to play. Win yourself some free money.
And is it just whoever picks the most games by the end of the season?
You know what?
Deal?
No, it's a weekly contest.
Oh, okay. So you get paid out every week.
Yeah, it's how you do per week. It's a really good contest, and of course, I'm big on the articles on WSN. And again, they have a full array of articles on everything on odds and news and predictions. But then the U.S. sports betting news, which I love. New York, oof. This is a tough spot. I thought we'd have New York sports betting right now. Now, granted, there are some brick and mortars up in northern New York, but I thought we'd have right now mobile app betting in the bars in New York City, which will cut right into New Jersey's numbers, and it's not. So, very good article about the New York State Gaming Commission. They give out their preliminary approval. That's going to allow these other companies to fight for the couple spots there is. So there's a good article on that. Good articles on a PointsBet launching in West Virginia, which I like to see all these states on the East Coast. Eventually, we're going to have nationwide sports betting in every state eventually. But keep up on it there. And, of course, the bonuses. The bonuses are my thing there, John. I don't know another site that you can go and you can actually click on state by state, the state guides to each state bonuses, and it shows you exactly New Jersey. I'll click on the first one's New Jersey. How about this? $5,000 Caesars to sign up, a $5,000 risk-free bet. It's right there.
Really?
WSN. Sign up. You get $1,000. You could deposit anywhere to $5,000.
Yep.
Your first bet is going to be your free bet. If you lose it, you get the bet back. On WSN, they have the Caesars $5,000 you see there.
That's incredible.
$5,000. So,
and could you bet all the way up to $5,000 on the bet?
Yes. You should too.
You should, right? Like, why not?
Why deposit $5,000 and only bet $1,000? Bet the whole $5,000. So I'm sure you're going to be bearding in there soon.
Yeah, I'm going in bearding.
People don't know what that means yet, but we'll learn there. DraftKings $1,000, Bet365 $500, BetMGM $1,000, PointsBet $1,000. There's nothing like these other jurisdictions when it comes to bonuses outside of Nevada.
And that's for first-time depositors.
First-time depositors.
But it's worth it. I mean, you basically could have about $10,000 worth of free bets.
Yes, more right now. This situation more. So WSN.com.
Wow, that's good stuff. Speaking of bets, we've got the Las Vegas royalty, as I would say, when it comes to sportsbook, and this is a first on the Wise Kracks show. This will be his third. Are you aware of this?
Oh, I didn't know that.
His third visit with us over here. Why don't you do the honors?
Sure. And, not before I do that, too. Not only because he's running the SuperBook, but you have to understand who we're going to have here. This is Jay Kornegay. Let's bring him in first, and I'll talk about that.
I like that.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, guys.
I was just saying, I was giving you a little plug here. People just think you of as like the SuperBook, but you were one of those guys. You were the guy back when I was first visiting Vegas before I lived here. I guess it was, that had to be in the 90s. What year did you start over at the IP? What year was that?
Oh, we opened up the IP book in August of 1989.
Oh, 89. You were there in 89?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we opened it up.
Wow. So I thought it was the 90s. I thought it was like a mid-90s. Wow. So you guys really were... Everyone had to come in town to get the Imperial Palace prop sheet.
Yeah.
They were the prop guys.
I remember
for the
that
Super Bowl
sports book.
And
writing on the wall. Yeah, writing on the board, right?
Yeah. Jay, were you when you were doing the props back then though, what was like the first year? You probably had like a dozen or something, or how many props was back in the beginning when you started? A couple dozen, 100? How many did you have in the beginning compared to and by the way, this is a little before me now. I didn't come to town till 92. So back then, were you guys putting props up and no one else in town was putting them up?
Oh, no. There was a very small market for it, Bill, and I'm going to guess, let's just take the Super Bowl. There was probably around 20 or so different propositions, very generic. Right. Will there be an interception? I don't even know if they had that one. Okay. But like maybe total field goals, maybe the longest field goal. Whether it be maybe over under passing yards by the two quarterbacks. I mean, that's where we kind of found our niche. We actually, if you go back to that time, late 80s, early 90s, all the Super Bowls were blowouts. I mean, the NFC was just destroying the AFC every single game. And the reason why we came up with more propositions was just to keep everybody entertained. I mean, it was so boring in the second half. So we were coming up with some propositions that wouldn't be scored until, the second half. And we added probably about 15 or 20 different propositions that first time around. It went over very well. And then we got up to 100. The market at that time was probably still around 30. And then we really ramped it up for the Niners Chargers Super Bowl in 95, when that spread was, anywhere from 19 to 20. So everybody knew who was going to win that game. So we really ramped up the props and we got it up to a couple hundred. And it just took off. And it really had a rippling effect on everything else that we did. We thought that there was a niche for a bigger market for second tier, third tier sports. And so we got to roll with it. And then here we are.
Wow. No, great stuff. The SuperBooks, knowing even this past Super Bowl, everyone's waiting, drooling to get the SuperBook actual sheet of props.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm if I'm off here, but Jay, am I right saying this? You guys come up first, and people are kind of waiting to see yours to copy. Not all of them, but some of them. Am I saying the right thing?
Yeah, I guess that's, pretty accurate. There's others that will throw up their, their own proposition, but they do. Our team does. It's really a lot of work, to tell you the truth. It's really, I'm not saying it's, rocket science, but it's a lot of number crunching, a lot of time spent on a lot of these props that we've come up with over the years are now just standard propositions for the Super Bowl and, some other games throughout the year. So, yeah, we break it down, and others will follow that, and that's kind of been the case since the very beginning. I remember, which I won't name the casino, but I was pretty upset when it was a neighbor of ours at the Imperial Palace, and they basically just took our sheets, whited out our name.
Oh God.
A poor job at that, where you could actually still see part of our name in
right.
book
right.
on their sheets, and they just wrote in their name and then put it out for customers to bet on. So it's been like that. I mean, we don't mind it. We get it. It shows a little respect for us, and they have confidence in our numbers, and so do we. But yes, we're definitely, I believe, the first to market with a full Super Bowl menu of propositions.
Wow. And not only that, though, for John, you're probably going to hear this for the first time. I bet props at there like throughout the season, regular week 1, week 2. They take props. They take a lot of prop bets.
Really,
I'm betting, and I bet a lot of money on them. They take them from me, and they move them after I bet them. Of course,
I was just going to ask if there was a max bet,
$1,000, which
$1,000
that's unbelievable. That's great. I mean,
you can't parlay them though, right? You can't parlay
certain
props?
ones you could, but
okay.
A lot of times you can't. But there's you don't want to have you don't want to allow people to bet you on correlated things, so you won't. But they take them all year long, though. Proposition bets, not just the Super Bowl.
Right.
Every week and week. By the way, you listen. He's got a crew that work for him there that are on top of their games. I keep a good 5-figure balance in there year round, and I'll tell you, I don't make many withdrawals. I did beat them. But percentage-wise, compared to other sports books, his crew is the best. They're his crew. They know what's up. You know what it is. They're bettors. Their mentality. They're bettors themselves, so they know.
Right.
They know what to expect. They know where to put a line. And anyway, that's props to you and your crew there, Jay.
Yeah, and more props to you, Jay. The fact that you guys embrace Crack and him betting there is really cool to me, because I never thought about it until I came on this show with him a year ago, whatever, of what he goes through with some of these casinos. And it's interesting to me that some view him as public enemy number one, and here you are. You'll come on the show. This is your third time, and if he gets you one week, he gets you, and you don't sweat the money. Why is it different for you guys?
Great question.
Well, first of all, we'd like to use Bill a lot for his information as well, John. He's right. We do give him extended limits, and I think fair limits. But what he didn't say, and this is the type of person we're talking about. He was very humble about it. We really aggressively move on his plays. So there's a lot of times when the game goes off, Bill and the SuperBook need the same side. All right. So, but Bill's always been upfront with us. He plays by the rules. He doesn't try to,
game the system.
Yeah. There's people out there that try to take advantage of certain ways to wager, and therefore they are limited because whether they bet it all at the same time, which they deny. But Bill has always been upfront with us, and that's why we have a few relationships just with the SuperBook with other very sharp players, and they play by the rules, and we respect that, and we try to be very fair with our limits with those type of people.
It's really cool.
Excellent. Really, really good. Thanks, Jay. Well, we have some questions, so let's get into the questions here. Yeah. Jay, during the week, I heard the last couple of days. Now, I don't know this because I wasn't in there on Saturday, the day of the games. I was in the book on Sunday when the Colts were playing. I think it was the Colts. So I heard this week was ridiculous volume on NFL, a lot more than some of the book managers even thought. They were like, wow, if this is going to be an indicator of how people are betting on NFL this year, this is going to be a special year.
That's exactly right. I mean, the numbers that we produced the first NFL preseason weekend was just fantastic. I haven't really had a chance to compare them to some of the others that we have seen, but I'm very confident to say that it was probably the biggest preseason handle that we've ever seen.
Wow.
Which, holds true to what you said. And that is that we should expect a very huge football season, both in the college ranks and the pro ranks.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's going to be people automatically, you think, John, too, all these other states now, these jurisdictions having sports betting.
Right.
Boy, Vegas is in trouble. I keep on hearing this all the time. Vegas is in trouble.
Yeah.
Vegas is in trouble. Well, actually, in the end, I don't know how you feel, Jay. I'm going to ask you, but I would think you're introducing sports betting in all these states to these younger generation that hasn't bet on sports before. I know living in Jersey, we had so many vices with gambling, literally pitching quarters, playing cards. Not only that, though, you have the casinos, you have lottery, you have racetracks in your face, and now we have sports betting, but it appeals to the younger crowd, the ESPN crowd that grew up on the Kobe and Shaq, and maybe now growing up on LeBron and the current players. So I think that they would say, wow, we got to go to Vegas now with no sports betting. This is what I would think. Now, Jay, you're going to answer me. Do you think that's along the lines of the truth, or you think that people are going to, you think you guys are going to be okay, or do I have to get the collection buckets out?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that too, Bill. But, no. Okay. We set record numbers for June, July, August, I think May.
Wow.
Record numbers, and I know that part of that, part of the reason was because of the scheduling. Some of those leagues were playing in months that we haven't seen, them play before. But here's the deal with these out of town states. It was very rare. I'm not going to say there was nobody that actually came to Vegas to make sports bets. I mean, they did that, okay, but they were already making bets in these other jurisdictions,
right?
Okay? They were using different channels. We all know it. All right. And so it wasn't like someone would come from New York just to bet on sports. No, they could just pick up the phone and make their bets. So that wasn't something that, we were expecting. We were not expecting all this onslaught of new bettors come. But I think what we experienced in the slots in other parts of the gaming world where we expanded gaming across this country, yes, you introduce gaming to a whole new demographic, and eventually, yes, they are going to come to Las Vegas and experience Las Vegas. People just can't emulate what Vegas has.
100%. Yeah.
So when you bet on sports, eventually you're going to say, yeah, we should go to Vegas, and we do expect that.
Yeah. It's like there's minor league stadiums all over the country, but you still go to a Yankee game. You still go to the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
And this is the big leagues when it comes to gambling and fun. This is the capital, the debauchery capital of the world, Yeah.
Cool.
Jay, I heard you about this super contest that you guys are having, and before we started the show today, Crack was saying that maybe I need to enter, and I think I'm coming in this year. Am I coming in this year? What are we doing?
Jay, do you give away anything? Any kind of a what do they call that? A blooper prize, or what do they call? What do they call that? The bottom when you give away
consolation?
Any consolation like last place. You give away anything like that, or how does it actually work, though, Jay? Actually, it's a great thing, though. John hasn't been in the Super Contest before, which I have. Love it. Fantastic. Again, this year you're going back to the no juice, which is really good. No rake or anything out of it. The original form of it. Can you maybe talk to us about that? What comes with it? Is there a prize like that? How much money do you think? The first prize will be, has been in the past. John didn't know, and I couldn't give him an answer. I said it's over $1 million, I think.
Yeah, I think the record is 1.5, but we're not going to reach that this year, mainly because the contest market is getting a little diluted now. We have competition, which is just fine, and yes, the competition makes you change things. And the reasons why we made the changes this year and probably moving forward is because of what we're seeing out there in the market. That's what you would do if in any business. You have to keep an eye on your competitors and what they're doing, and to remain competitive, you have to change your ways, and that's exactly what we did. So this year's Super Contest, we added more in-season prizes. In-season prizes. My friends are in these contests. And, a few weeks into the season, they fall behind, and it's pretty rough. But the in-season prizes have been so popular because it gives them different life. They, even though they're might be out of it for the overall championship, they still have a chance for the first quarter, the second quarter. Well, we even ramped that up, and now we have 9 in-season contests this year. We have 6 3-week contests, and we have 3 6-week contests, plus the overall prize. So even though you have some bad weeks, there's a new contest that starts every 3 weeks. And it's not chunk change. I mean, the winner gets $75K.
That's good. Every week?
Yeah, no, every 3 weeks he's saying.
And
this is
gotcha.
this is for the same $1,000. You don't re-up anything, right?
That's correct.
So you have all these inner contests inside the big contest.
Right.
So it keeps you going every week. Like Jay says, guys that are out of it maybe for the year, you start over in 3 weeks or every 4 weeks, every quarter. This is all for the same prize. So that's really a good thing.
Listen, Jay, back in '93, I had the Cowboys at a future bet. They beat the Bills 52-17. I had the Cowboys. They were 10-1. Back in '08, Jay, Philadelphia Phillies 22-1. I was all over it. Right start of the season. Okay, Cole Hamels MVP. I was all over it. Okay, last year Dodgers. I also cast Royals. Listen, Jay. Normally I would have to talk to my people, and believe it or not, I do have people. Okay, but I'm not even going to involve my people with this offer I'm going to give you, Jay, today on Wise Kracks Show. Okay, I'm willing to accept a payout before the contest even starts. I won't enter the contest, which will save Westgate money in the long run, for a simple payout, $750K. Take your time.
Well, it's not saving Westgate money. They're giving it out no matter what. But you're saying, you're actually saying you're not going to.
I'm going to win this thing, but I'll take
an
less.
early buyout right now.
I'll take a buyout just to go away.
Ask John what he's done the last couple of years betting on things and putting people in homeless shelters that are following him.
Haven't cashed a single ticket. But I'm due. So I'm due.
John. So you know what? Let me. I'm gonna have to run up by a few people. Put that on the table for us.
Yeah. All right. Talk to your people, and then I'll give them my people, and we'll see if we can come to some sort of amicable arrangement. It's got to be deep in six-figure land, though.
Cool. Hey, Jay, before we let you go, last thing I want to know, because it's getting so big nationwide here, what other jurisdictions are you in or are you planning to be in the near future? I think we talked about, so Colorado, you're up and running right now. Please explain to the listeners and viewers.
We are, and so you guys know the SuperBook is its own separate entity. It actually, here it's the SuperBook at the Westgate, but it's just the SuperBook outside of Nevada. So we have SuperBooks. In Colorado, we have a mobile channel. We also have a retail outlet with our great partners at the Lodge in Blackhawk. We're going to launch New Jersey Monday. That's our soft launch, but we should be all ready to go for the football season. And then we expect to be in at least 2 or 3 more states by the spring of next year.
Oh, so cool! You guys got some things. Jersey's the big one. I mean, Jersey has been beating Nevada's numbers for the last few months here. So Jersey's going to be the big one. And let me ask you: do you have it set already where you can actually finance? Can I bring cash to a counter at one of the casinos and finance the app, or how does it work?
Well, you can do that in person, or you can do it through a digital channel.
So I'm saying, but in Atlantic City, I could do it in person.
You can do it not in Atlantic City.
Okay.
You can do it at the Meadowlands.
Meadowlands, perfect. That's just as good. Meadowlands has a couple other books there. I'm always there. I'm a spokesperson for one of the books at the Meadowlands, so that's fantastic. You can go right there, bring cash, sign up for the Westgate app. That's wonderful to hear. Great.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. New Jersey's going to be a great market. Some of these others are expected to be just humongous. I mean, the sports betting guys, the numbers are just tremendous. I mean, people love. We always knew that they love watching it, but they love betting it, and the world is finding that out right now.
Fantastic, Jay. Thanks for having you on, and thanks for coming on with us. We appreciate you always helping us out when we need a guest to come on, and we always want to promote your contest. We love it. Zero Juice this year. I'm looking forward to get some entries. We're going to think about getting a Wise Kracks entry, and it should be fun. Thanks a lot, Jay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jay.
All right. Jay Kornegay.
Jay Kornegay.
That was good.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, he's great, man. He's great. He's one of the original pioneers of it. He is when it comes to the props and stuff. So,
and I love that you're not public enemy number one.
No,
it's
they take
cool.
my bets. They're not stations or Will Hill or something. They want guys. They want guys to sharpen up their lines, like you said.
Right.
They're not running these stations. I see their signs again. We love our winners. I always want to get up in the middle of the night and go over there with spray paint, and unless you're Bill Krackomberger.
Yeah,
ridiculous. Anyway, Anything else? What we got?
No, that was fun. That was good. Another week is coming on.
Good, guys. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks for following. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
And just remember, you've given me a 48-hour verbally binding. That's verbally binding on this show, on the Wise Kracks show.
We're working on some big guests for you, too. John.
I was so close. Not that Jay's not a big guest.
No. Jay's a big guest. But John's got a real ace in his hole here.
It's so close. Yeah. It's so close. We'll get it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's do it again. Are you back? Are you here next week?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Yeah. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.